Meeting on Tuesday, January 5th, 2021 at City Hall, 6136 Adobe Road, 29 Palms, California, 92277. To consider the following: regular session agenda at 6 p.m. We have a safety alert as a result of COVID virus, resulting orders and direction from the President of the United States, the Governor of the State of California, and the San Bernardino Health Care Agency. We, as a City of 29 Palms emergency proclamation, and the public will not be permitted to physically attend the 29 Palms City Council meeting in which the agenda applies. You may submit comments on any agenda item or on any item not on the agenda in written via mail to City Council, 6136 Adobe Road, 29 Palms, California, 92277, or by mail to info@29palms.org. You may view the meeting live online on the City of 29 Palms website. Please note that City Council is making every effort to follow the spirit and intent of the Brown Act and other applicable laws regulating the conduct of public meetings. In order to maximize transparency and public access, it would be acceptable if communications of public comments related to items on the agenda or items not on the agenda are provided to info@29palms.org prior to the commencement of the meeting, if that is not possible, and to accommodate comments on items that are not may be added to the agenda after the initial posting during the time of emergency. Every effort will be made to attempt to review emails during the course of the meeting. Towards the end, the mayor will endeavor to take a brief pause before action is taken on any agenda item and allow the city clerk to review emails and share any public comments received during the meeting. If you'd like to participate in the live session on December 5th, 2021 City Council meeting, please register at the following link. attendee.gotowebinar.com. And that should get them in. Okay, so I'd just like to everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mayor Pro Tem, would you please lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Matt, would you like to give us an invocation, please?
Yes, sir. Let us pray. Father God, we want to first say thank you for behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health we need to fulfill our calling, for assurance and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of hearing appropriate responsibilities. Thank you for helping us to accomplish our work and our goals this day. God, we just want to thank you and ask that you would lead and guide us and bless us in this meeting. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Bildering.
Here.
Councilmember Klink.
Here.
Councilmember Wright.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ogilvy.
Here.
Mayor Mintz.
Here.
All present.
Okay, we have no closed sessions announcement, and we have no changes to the agenda. Announcements: this proceedings may be viewed on demand on the City of 29 Palms website at www.29palms.org, and may also live stream this meeting by going onto the website and clicking on meeting agenda link. Awards, presentations, appointments, and proclamations, we have none. City council comments, reports, and meetings attended. Councilmember Klink, you get to go first since you were always last year.
Oh, man, thank goodness I get to do it first. First of all, I'd like to wish everybody out there a Happy New Year. I also would like to wish everybody celebrating a birthday in January here in 29 Palms in the Morongo Basin a happy birthday, especially my daughter Amanda in England on the 26th, and a happy anniversary to my lovely wife Tori, celebrating 38 years on January 8th.
Oh, congratulations.
No meetings.
Oh.
There's one tomorrow.
Councilmember Beldering.
I'd like to say Happy New Year to everybody as well, and happy birthday to all those January babies. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. And I didn't attend any meetings or anything like that. And I guess I'll say happy birthday to all the January babies, too.
Okay, Mayor Toseman Carmelet.
Yes.
I did not attend any meetings, but I would like to say a happy birthday to my daughter, whose birthday is January 25th.
Okay, well, happy birthday. Yes, I'm glad, hope everyone is starting their new year out good. Hopefully things will turn around a little bit from 2020. Frank and I did go down to Palm Springs. We picked up some PPE supplies, and then the next day, Mayor Pro Tem and I handed them out in the morning, and then Council Member Wright and Klink joined me, and we went around and gave some out. The next day, staff went out and gave a few out. Obviously, when restaurants are be able to open outside, anybody listening from restaurants, please make sure you contact City Hall. We will get you. We have plenty of, especially hand sanitizers and masks, and some shields. We will get you those when you're able to open. We handed out to folks that were open now, but obviously we have a lot more for the restaurants when they're able to open. So just contact City Hall when that happens, and we probably will go out maybe at the beginning and just hand them out, a few out, and then until they're all gone. And we want to thank the Coachella Valley, Economic Partner. I had the CVP part. I didn't have the E. Yeah, the Coachella Valley Economic Partnership. They gave Yucca Valley also, some supplies also. They said we're so close to them, they might as well help take care of the Morongo Basin. I won't say what else they said, but we also, after we had the toy giveaway, we had the golf tournament, and we also had some donations that were made at the golf course, and we had our very own council member Steve over there was Santa Claus, ho ho ho, and he was a big hit. A lot of people just took pictures with him, and unfortunately we ran out on the last 15 cars. We had over 100 cars, and we were giving out anywhere from 2 to 5 presents per car. So we don't know who it was, but somebody actually gave 2 very large presents they took it to the fire department. It was a pink electric car and I don't know what the color the other one was, but it was for boys. And we were able to give those out to 2 families that had quite a few younger children, and were able to take advantage of those. So it was a big hit. They were floored when they got those.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, and Mr. Baskin from Ground Zero, we brought, the toys were bought all in town. $500 was taken to Rite Aid, because they have a 50% sale. And then we gave Mr. Baskins from Ground Zero $250, but I'll guarantee you he gave us $1,000 worth of toys. He came away, if he hadn't have been for him, we'd have turned a lot more of those cars away. So next year, we're gonna step it up a little bit, and hopefully we can do the same or do even better. But I do want to thank everyone who helped us with that, and it was a good turnout. Staff came out. Obviously, Park and Rec did a great job with that, because they had the what did you have, the find a decoration or something at Knott's ornament hunting. But they brought a big box of stuff back that they had left over, and everybody at least got something for that. So anyways, that's about all. I thought I'd remind everyone what you did this month. So okay, consent calendar. All matters under the consent calendar to be considered routine by the City Council. City Council in its capacity as a successor agency in the former Twine Ponds Redevelopment Agency will be enacted in one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the City Council. Public will be given to the opportunity to comment on consent calendar items prior to the City Council action. There is none.
There's one. Move the item.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion to move. Does anybody want to pull anything? Anybody from the public? Okay. Roll call vote, please. Well, I don't know. We're just waiving it, but I don't know if we've never waived a consent calendar before. Okay.
This is just waive the reading of ordinances. There's nothing on there.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
Gotcha.
So okay. All right. Well, then we can just move on then. Okay. Discussion of potential items, action items. So this is great. My first meeting as mayor in 5 years, and I get to miss half the meeting. So this is about Project Phoenix sewer rates. So I obviously have a conflict of interest. I have to step out, but in capable hands of our Mayor Pro Tem.
See ya.
Yeah. Don't forget to call me back, though.
Just don't fall asleep with it up there, we'll be good.
Okay. Sewer rate, fee study, and rate setting process. I'll turn the discussion over to staff. Frank?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and council. The item in front of you this evening is staff is recommending to comment on the report from council regarding the sewer rate and fee study and rate setting process with a potential action of approving the study and authorizing the mailings and call a public hearing for February 23rd. So just by way of a little bit of background, as the council will recall, last January, we had our groundbreaking with Project Phoenix. And that portion of the project was our water and sewer piece of the project. That project or that task within the overall project was complete in March. And the goal there was in April to connect the businesses within Project Phoenix, 14 of them, to the sewer system. So as the council also will recall, last year we went through the same process. So we set the public hearing, we had the individual from Wildan present the report, and we were all set for connection of the businesses to the sewer system and also having the rates. Then COVID hit. So one of the, at that time last year in the complete shutdown, all the businesses were closed. And so staff approached the Regional Water Quality Control Board. They're the regulatory agency of the sewer system and asked, with COVID, can we delay the connection of the businesses and also the corresponding rates for a year? Given the crisis that we were in, and there was really no urgency within last year, they approved that extension, which got us to today. Kurt Schopner is texting me. He can't hear me. Yeah, Kurt Schopner just emailed me and said he can't hear me. Do we need? Is that what it is? Okay. Okay, Kurt, if you're still having a problem, text me again. But kind of lost my train of thought. So COVID happened, and they approved the delay of the project. So fast forward, we're now at the point where we're looking to connect the businesses in Project Phoenix beginning March 1st, and also that corresponding rates associated with the connection. This meeting tonight, you're presenting the rate study. The rate study was done by Wildan Financial, a leader in the rate study world. So any comments that you have on the study tonight, and that'll be setting that public hearing, which is February 23rd. February 23rd will be that protest hearing. A couple of the things that go along, or some of the tenets of Prop 218. One is within a rate study, you have to do a rate study, because part of the process is that the individuals, the businesses in this case, can't pay more than the cost of the operation. So in essence, you can't make money. So what you have to do is go through the rate study and prove the cost and the fair share. What's important about the fair share is, and to describe it, is it's all based on what you use. The water that you use will ultimately go down the drain. So the more you use, the more you pay. The less you use, the less you pay. So the rate study will go over that process to make sure everybody pays their fair share. Another tenet of Proposition 218, which is one ratepayer can't subsidize another ratepayer. So you'll see within the report, when I show you the rates, you'll have some rates that are really low. You know what I mean? I think as low as $2 and some odd cents. And you'll have, on the high end, you'll have rates of $187 a month on the high end. So you get the low and the high. one of the things you may ask yourself is, well, that 2 is kind of low. Can't we just kind of bump that up and have the lower or the higher one be reduced? You can't do that. It has to, each person, business in this case, has to pay their fair share. And that's what the process kind of goes through. The protest hearing is a protest hearing, so it's not an actual vote, it's a protest hearing. So at this meeting at February 23rd, if 50% plus 1 protested, the rates do not go through, okay? So that is one of the options from the residents or the customers to protest in this hearing. We will also, in addition to putting the notice out for the public hearing, we also will be sending mailing to those affected businesses, again, 14 of them, that stretch from one end, Virginian, to the east, to the former Mojave Moon to the west, and everything in between that. You know, we do have a challenge, you know, within this, which is not a lot of connections, right? So there is a fixed cost associated with operating the system and only 14 customers. So last year, when we initially went through this process, and this is what you should do through the process, is look at the cost, look at the fair share, and allocate that cost over to the customers. So in essence, in our case, $80,000 is what it operates, and we should receive $80,000 in reimbursement or fees from the customers. However, when we did it, because there's not enough critical mass there, there's not enough customers. So when you spread it fair share over those 14 customers, the rates became just unrealistic, too high. Again, not enough customers. So what staff did at that point is to look at, we looked at Yucca Valley, a new plant, a larger populace as far as connections, to see what a reasonable cost would be on a rate structure. And when you looked at that, you know, we kind of came about $35 an EDU. An EDU is an equivalent dwelling unit, EDU. So kind of matched up with Yucca Valley, $35 for 1 EDU. How sewer rates work is 1 EDU is a house, okay? So 1 house is an EDU. So we worked with the water district, and approximately 175 gallons a day each house uses in water, and so that became 1. So if you were a business, as an example, and used 350 gallons a day, which is twice 175, you would be 2 EDUs, right? So as mentioned, $35 is 1. So if you were 2 EDUs, you'd be $70 a month, and it's multiples of that. The restaurants, the bars down there use a lot more water than a retail shop or a real estate office. A real estate office, a retail shop has a toilet and a sink, a few flushes a day, you know, washing your hands a couple times a day, whatever it may be. But a restaurant's washing dishes, a bar is having people go to the restroom, a lot of flushing toilets, and so that's the difference between, you know, the low usage and the high usage down there. Talked about the EDU. Okay, so the rates. Let me pull up the rate study here real quick. And it's attached within the staff report, the study. And let me flip here to the end so you can get a perspective of the businesses and the rates. Towards the end here. Yes, here it is here. Okay. So we didn't call them all out, other than, unfortunately, a pizza, which is Papa John's. The rest of them, we just did a very generic name to them. So as you can see, you know, restaurant, store, nail salon, restaurant, pizza shop, real estate offices, et cetera, down the list. To the far right here, the charge, here's what the monthly rates will be. Again, from the high end of, I think it's down here, $187 to the low of $2.47. These rates on a monthly basis will bring in approximately $13,000 a year, going against the cost. The cost is in four pieces. One piece is, and although I think it's overkill from the regional board has mandated
monitoring wells down there, and what they want to prove, 3 monitoring wells, what they want to prove is the water quality after the sewer is better than the water quality before the sewer. Only way to prove that is monitoring wells. So the water district has, and the board has approved this to maintain these monitoring wells, but the city has to pay for the actual cost. The actual cost will be when they pull samples and it goes to the labs, we'll have to pay those lab costs, right? So when I talk about this, this will be for a year, an annual process. The first year of the rate study will be only 4 months of the fiscal year if we begin March. So it'll be March, April, May, and June. However, when I'm talking about this, this will be an annual cost. So we'll be spending about $12,000 a year in those lab costs. In addition to that, we put out for bid the maintenance of the sewer system. San Bernardino County Special Districts, who is an operator of sewer systems, put in for a bid. We had about 3 folks put in for a bid, and they had the best numbers. They would be doing 4 things. One is an emergency service, which I'll put that to the side right now. One is monthly service, one is quarterly service, and one is annual service. Over and above that, there will be emergency service. Currently, right now, and we just had a situation today at a fast food restaurant of a septic tank leaking, and that's typically a property owner's responsibility. In this case, when these things happen from a sewer side, now we'll be in the sewer business. Now it's our responsibility. It's a new system, so I don't anticipate any issues, but we're putting $15,000 there for emergency call-outs. If the sewage backs up, if the sewage spills, if there's any issues with the sewage, we gotta be on it now. You know, we can't wait, and we gotta be on it now. So that is part of the cost. With a brand-new system, I don't anticipate using that, but nonetheless, it's there. So we have the operating side of it, we have the testing side of it, and then we have the permitting side of it. All total, it's about $80,000 a year. And as mentioned earlier, those fees that I showed you that are up on the screen generate about $13,000 a year. So what that means is the general fund will be subsidizing the rates by the tune of about $67,000 a year. That $67,000 a year will come out of our general fund. But it will put pressure, you know, on our general fund, and we've talked about that before with Project Phoenix, you know, adding the manpower in Project Phoenix, adding the electricity and all the other things with Project Phoenix. But Project Phoenix is progress for our city, right? And as part on the other side of it, which is more speculative, but we believe this as part of the infrastructure, more businesses will come, so it'll bring in more revenues and more property tax dollars. But the only part that we know for certain in the front end of it are these are the costs that we have to absorb, this being one of them. I know one of the council members mentioned about you know, March 1st, you know, what happens if they're not open? You know, unfortunately, once they connect, and they will connect March 1st, the system is live. So we have to maintain that system as of March 1st. So yeah, even though some of them may not be open, they'll be starting to be charged as of March 1st. And it's one of those unfortunate things in the current environment. I understand that with COVID. Hopefully by March 1st, we're out of where we're at today and people are operating, but that could be a reality as of March 1st. This is the last comment before I turn it back over to Mayor Pro Tem. This is a 1-year rate study. Typically, you'll do rate studies for 5 years and just set it on a course. In this case, it's a brand new system, right? So there is going to be, well, in another year, we're going to have going online our community center, Joshua Tree National Park Cultural and Visitor Center, and hopefully maybe other retail operations or housing operations, you know, within Project Phoenix that will help change the dynamic of cost. So we're only doing this for 12 months, initial year, and we'll be bringing this back next year and be able to hopefully adjust some of the revenue and the expense numbers. So that concludes my staff report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions from council members?
Sorry. this monitoring thing that they have,
Oh, yep.
the wells, do we have to constantly do that every year? I thought it just, they wanted to see that the water was better after this is done. Why would we have to keep monitoring if we know it's better? It's a waste of money, I feel.
You know, and I agree with you. There was no end date on the monitoring side of it. Potentially, when we have our centralized system in, ultimately, you know, because if you compare us to Yucca Valley, their centralized system, they did not require any monitoring wells. Given a small system that is still using, you know, technology that is not as good as a municipal system, they want to prove it with those monitoring wells.
So does our other ones have monitoring wells?
Throughout the city, this is our first municipal system. So if you're talking about the package treatment plant, the private package treatment plants.
So they're
there
just- they're
is
private.
no, yeah. This is the first municipal one,
Okay.
which they're putting that requirement on us.
And can we not go around and hook up other homes and businesses around there to help?
We can, and we will look at that. There's a certain capacity currently that's there. So there's gonna be a couple phases of this project. Phase one was the sewer, and we put the sewer in, done. Phase two will be the large septic tank that all these businesses will connect to, and that's phase two, and there's a capacity there. Phase three will be the package treatment plant, which will have a higher capacity, 32,000 gallons a day, will be that higher capacity. And two, there is even additional, you know, we may have to acquire some more land over there to add more capacity at 32,000 to connect other businesses. So your ultimate question, the answer is yes, but there's a capacity issue that we've got to work with. One of the policies that we're going to have to put in place, which we'll bring towards the council, will be connection fees. So this downtown project is a redevelopment project, paid for bonds and everything. But typically, when you extend to a connection, there's a connection fee. So as an example, and I'll just make this number up, if you wanted to connect to the system, you would have to, if the pipe ended in point A and it has to extend to point B, the customer, in that case, is gonna have to pay for that pipe, extending it from point A to point B, and pay a connection fee into the system, right? The current Project Phoenix people, it was free, right? It was free because this was a redevelopment project. Those connections will have to have those mechanics involved with it, so it won't be quote-unquote free for those future connections. So that will be something that we will bring to the council, and to answer your ultimate question, yes, there will be connection availability with those couple policy and capacity answers.
Councilmember Wright?
Yeah, so we're doing this as part of hoping that new businesses come. So if that new business come, they gotta pay those connection fees and then start paying the fee?
That is correct. And if you're talking about new business as far as new construction, that is one of the things that we were looking at Project Phoenix for, is that barrier, to eliminate that barrier. So make up this scenario, like in Yucca Valley, the Applebee's. The only way that Applebee's could go in there in Yucca Valley was a package treatment plant. Now we got a package treatment plant in our downtown. So with capacity, they don't have to spend the $500,000-$600,000 for a plant. They have to pay a connection fee, which would be a fraction of that, just to connect to our system.
Okay.
And fees, and just like your water fees, right? And that's, we're not used to that in 29 Palms because we have septic tanks, but in other cities, you pay not only your water fee, but your sewer fee. And so
Yeah.
this is a maturation point in our city that we just didn't have in the past.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have any questions from emails? No? Okay, then I'll bring it back to council. Any more questions?
I move that we approve the sewer rate fee study and rate setting process and call a public hearing for February 23rd, 2021.
Second.
He gave it to Steve.
Just one of them needs to be the second.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilmember Klink and a second from Councilmember Bill Duran. So, shall we vote?
Councilmember Wright,
Aye.
Councilmember Bildering,
Aye.
Councilmember Klink,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Ogilvy,
Aye.
and Mayor Mintz abstain. Approved 401.
Mayor, you can come back in. Can you hear us? I can hear you. Okay.
Okay. So now we go on to item number 3. The City Council Regional Organizational Assignments. So, obviously, every year we have assignments. Last year, really the only, Joel, you were on the SBCTA, and I was the alternative. And then the SBTC Measure I Committee, and I was the alternative. So you're good with that, because that's a lot of traveling.
I am.
And the Desert Mountain Division League of Cities, at the beginning, it's going to be Zoom meetings. The president appointed me again for my second term on the Public Safety Committee for the state, so that was pretty cool, for the League of Cities. And Mac, you're still the alternate for that if I can't go. Yeah, I did trick you to go to Mammoth, yes. No, you're not a skier. I don't know
Nothing
how
wrong
I
with
did that. I think he thought I said Morongo, not Man. So then the Morongo Basin Transit, MBTA, Mayor Pro Tem and I are going to switch. I'll go back on as a regular member. Mac is, and then Carmelette is going to be the alternate. And then the San Waste is Mac. He seems to love that committee. It's get to do with all the trash. There is a big spread. I did tell Joel that when you walk in, there is a huge spread when you walk in. And then Steve, you're the alternate. So, and then the air quality management, I'm still on that. And then Steve, you're the alternate for that. So then we have the subcommittees. The Economic Development Committee was myself and Mac. Personnel Committee is myself and Joel. And then community, the CDBGs is Carmelette and Steven. You guys are still good with that. Project Phoenix is Joel and MacArthur. Legislative is Steve and Carmelette. And Budget and Audit was myself and Steve. Cindy brought up that we need 2 people for the Planning Commission. We have to review. We have folks coming up due this year. We have to review and open that up. So Stephen, I think you did that once before, didn't you, Steve? Okay. Steve and Mac, you want to do it? Okay. Okay. So
Danny,
Mac,
I think with the personnel, I think that was always the mayor pro tem, and it
yeah,
changes,
okay.
the personnel.
Oh, Personnel Committee? Oh, the Personnel Subcommittee? Okay. Well, then Carmelette, then you're stuck with me again.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we're all good with that. We don't take a vote for this, do we? That's.
As long as you have consensus, yeah.
Yeah, we have a consensus, right? Everybody's good? Okay. I think everybody was good prior to this, but I try to stay on top of it. Okay, future council initiative items. Do we have any? Joel?
I was asked to bring this up about talking about impound fees. When people have to get their vehicles out of impound, they have to come to City Hall to pay a fee to go get it. And right now, it's $45, and then you pay a towing fee, and over there.
So we should bring that up as a discussion item, not actually in an agenda item, but I guess it would be the
Or
same.
is that in the budget? Would we discuss that in the budget?
You can, so the budgeting season will begin this coming year, and part of that will be fees. that are associated with the current year. So,
Well, then let's wait till then.
yeah, I mean,
And
it'll
we'll
be
discuss
part
it.
of that. And just to speak to that directly, you know, so we did a rate study just last year on that to associate every piece of the puzzle associated with the cost. But we can bring that up during.
You can- yeah.
budget.
Okay. Other than that, Joel, get everything?
I'm good.
Steve? Mac? Carmelette?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. I have none at this time either. Okay, this is public comments. This is the time for the public to address the city council on issues on the jurisdiction. The city council is not on this agenda. All comments are to be directed to the city council and shall not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during these comments. There's a time limit of 3 minutes per person. If you haven't already done so, please fill out your name and address slips and give them to the city clerk. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action and discussing items not included in the printed agenda. Public comments on specific items will be deferred to until consideration of the item on the agenda. We have nobody here, and Cindy, you have nobody? Mac, you have, you have nobody? Okay. Okay, city manager update. Well, not you, I was meant to say Frank.
So, just a couple things, and kind of going back to future agenda item requests. So, Mr. Munoz, our city attorney, has given me some background information so we can kind of pick off that cannabis, which will be hopefully in the month of February, we'll be able to pick that one off as far as a future agenda item. Project Phoenix, great. You know, the progress continues with Project Phoenix, as the council is aware. Next week, you'll see some major earth movement over in our Project Phoenix area, a lot of demolition initially. So the roads from Tamarisk all the way over to Choya will be demoed, you know, so those will be dirt, along with the asphalt that is back there currently, and maybe some concrete in some areas that will be demoed. So all of that, first step of that, will be gone. And so a lot of earth movement you'll see, the public will see next week. With that is going to be some challenges, you know, from the public and from the businesses, from customer parking. We've set aside some areas and with traffic control of where to go for parking. We'll be putting some public information out there to try to communicate that. Staff understands, you know, progress sometimes is a little painful, and over the next year, it's going to be just a lot of disruption, but ultimately, at the end of the day, March 2022, and now we're in 21, so we're now 1 year away from cutting that ribbon and opening the facilities. So it'll be a little challenging for the next year, but the end is in sight, and very excited about that. With that, one of the pieces, so a question for the council. I know I talked to Councilmember Wright and Councilmember Bildering on it. So next week, and I don't know, Ms. Viescas, if you already talked to the council on this, but one of the pieces of, or after the demo and after the grading, what you have to do is compaction testing. And what compaction testing is to make sure that you have, you know, hence the word compaction, that the earth is solid enough that you could start building upon it, okay? So there needs to be some compaction testing. I think it's the 13th they're gonna do it, which is next Wednesday, I believe. So my question to you, and this is, you know, in the afternoon, morning, whatever your schedules work for, maybe Monday or Tuesday next week for a quick, short council meeting, one item to consider that, to approve that, so we don't have any delays in the project. Does Monday or Tuesday, you know, work with the council? And I know I already asked Councilmember Wright and Bildering, they're flexible, but,
I'm definitely flexible.
so,
Sure, if it's
Sure.
in the morning.
morning works
Mhm.
best?
Is that during the day?
During the day, or lunchtime, or early morning before you start?
It would have to be, for me, after 10.
Does that work for you?
I can make it work.
And it'll be quick, it'll be quick. 15 minutes would be at the maximum time frame. One item, that compaction testing, and that's it, so.
Who's doing the talking?
Yeah, I'll let Travis do the talking.
So after 10, it'll be 10:15 or 10:30?
Well, how about after 9:30? Because I'm up at my mom's until about 9:15.
So then 10?
And I can just zip down here if you want to do it at 9:30.
Does that work?
So 9:30 which day?
Oh, Monday or Tuesday, yeah.
Don't make any difference, either one.
Carmela, you have a?
Monday? Okay,
Just to get the agenda, I say Tuesday.
okay.
Perfect.
So we have it by-
Perfect.
And what date is that actually?
That'd be the 12th?
Okay.
Is that right, Frank? Okay, the 12th, okay. Because supposedly we still have a ribbon cutting at 1 o'clock that day, so
Oh.
Oh.
Then
that's supposedly, though.
the mayor, I know you mentioned about the PPE supplies, so we'll, you know, given the holidays, we were somewhat dormant, we were dormant on it, but one of the things we're gonna do is to get a distribution system, you know, as you mentioned earlier, just to have some mechanics behind it. You know, so the public knows how to order it and/or distribution. So staff will be working on that as well. And that's all my comments. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Everybody's good? All right, we'll adjourn our first meeting of 2021.
Adjourn it to next week.
Oh, adjourn it to next week, or?
Yeah, because that special meeting we just.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. I was just going to say, because we're going to actually have a 2-week break. Okay, so we're adjourning this meeting till next week.